me, also known as Janitma.
And I'm Megan, also known as Just Run It, and this is episode 479.
Yay!
479. Yeah, it's a dreary, rainy day. Walked
Yes.
my middle schooler over to the school bus with two umbrellas and walked one umbrella back. And yeah, whew, it's coming down out there.
Yes. Yeah, I got the plants planted over the weekend, so I'm good. They're getting all
Brinking
the
it up.
benefits of
Yeah.
this rain and yeah.
Yeah, the a lot of severe weather though, down like we where we went to spring break in St.
Mm.
Louis. Like I went and looked at where all of the damage was and what the path of the tornado was, and it was pretty close to the west end, I think, where we were, or a
Mhm.
couple places where I was like, oh, I think I remember seeing that. Not like literally where we were, but like, yeah, it's kind of crazy. Um, but yeah, it's there's also been wildfires in Minnesota, right? So hopefully this rain helps put them out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got some news this morning that was quite shocking. Somebody I know who's younger than me, his spouse passed away. So
Mm.
I was like, I knew that she was not well, but it was still a surprise to hear this morning. So yeah, the mood, the weather is just kind of suiting the general mood of the day for
Yeah.
me. So
Yeah, I'm so sorry to hear that, and my thoughts go out to them. It
yeah,
was
and
sudden or no,
no,
prolonged.
no,
Okay.
prolonged. But however, just to think of somebody that young, right? Younger
Yeah.
than me, and now he's going to be single parenting, and yeah, it's just tragic all around.
Yeah. Yeah. No, my mom, like, I feel like she like flinches every time I say it. But after losing my sister Melly so early, I
Mhm.
don't assume, right, that I'm going to live
No,
into
right.
my 80s. And so, yeah, life is definitely short. I'm glad that we are doing the things that make us happy now,
Mhm.
connections with other people, and leaving our mark on this world where we can, right?
Absolutely.
Yep, yep.
Well, on a brighter note, I've also been working on our zombie apocalypse schedules.
Yes.
I have the first draft done. I needed to print it out because apparently I'm a very tactile visual person. And in that, I noticed that I had a few things that were in the wrong place, as in somebody said the class should be in the AM and I put it in the PM, or and then I had one class that didn't make it onto the schedule. So I'm going to be redoing that sometime today. I will submit it to our teachers for review, as well as Megan. And well, actually, Megan, you are a Pokemon Walker teacher, so I'll be
Yes.
sending it to you with an early preview.
Mhm.
And so hopefully we can get that finalized by the end of the week. And to try to give myself a deadline by the time next time we podcast, hopefully I will have the details out there for you, so you'll feel a little less mm, weary or whatever. And like we'll
Yeah.
have a tentative schedule out there with some of the wonderful things you can be looking forward to, and get that ready for potential class signups here soon.
Yeah, yeah. And again, we try to, it's a very it's a needle to thread
Hmm.
with the timing on the classes. As Amy was just mentioning, sometimes life happens. And so we don't want to have too much churn in our schedule or with our teachers. So we try to get it kind of as close to like, yep, people are actually really coming, on the teacher side as well as on the participant sign up side as well. So it's a not so late, but not so like last minute sort of sign up that we're shooting for. So
Right, right. We're
yeah.
trying to thread that needle. If you were curious, you can still go to the 2024 schedule, as I mentioned last week. So
Mhm.
the big block items, are kind of our tent poles, don't seem to move. Registrations at the same times, opening and closing ceremonies are at the same times. We usually have an event on Thursday nights. That event will still remain Thursday nights. Um, Yarn Truck Rodeo is still Friday, things like that on the schedule are our tentpole items. They will stay in the same places. But designer showcases and other fun classes are the things that kind of move around. Oh, same with 5K. 5K stays in the same place every time. So,
Yep.
yep, just be aware that, it's coming. We're going to have wonderful classes. I got to look at all of them. There's a theme. Friendship bracelets are totally in. Um,
Woo!
and and so we have a couple different opportunities to do friendship bracelets as well as swapping them. And it was three different people. So
Thanks, T Swift, huh?
yeah, yeah. So
Hey,
we have,
you were at my bachelorette party, slumber party, and we definitely made friendship bracelets
we did.
before then. So we were cool before it was cool again.
Cool again. Right, right. Because when I was in like junior high or sixth grade,
Yep.
maybe sixth grade, fifth, sixth grade, oh my gosh, it was the rage. Everybody was making them. You had your safety pin on your pants almost
Mhm.
like perpetually to make them whenever you had a spare moment. Yeah, it was a big thing. But yeah, I have my techniques, and I have a like a braided one that's my favorite because it looks like magic when you're doing it. And it's really
Yeah.
quick too. Um,
You made them as part of our birthday kits one year, right? You made,
yes.
yes. Yep. That would be fun if somebody was like, "Hey, I have an Amy friendship bracelet from whatever
Yeah.
year ago that was." Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. Your fingers do end up getting feeling really like strained at the end of it, but
Yep.
it's yeah, it's the quickest way I know how to do it. So if anybody sees me making one, I'm happy to show you, and it's like magic.
Very cool.
And it might be at this point that it's muscle memory. Like I don't know how to tell you how to do it. I'd have to start one and then say, "Oh yeah, this is how you do it."
Yeah. I've found myself trying I met up with somebody in a coffee shop who was like an acquaintance of a coworker, a friend of a coworker, so I guess I would call them an acquaintance. And they're like,
Mhm.
"How do you like didn't even know how to cast on, right?" And I couldn't remember like the simple cast on. I think I do like a stretchier one where there's an
Mhm.
extra dig and loop, and I
Yep.
can't even remember what you call that
German
one now.
twisted is probably what
Yes.
you're doing.
And she was like, "That's really complicated. Is there an easier one?" And I was like, "I can't make my hands do that one." So yes, I understand what you're saying, right? Like it's just muscle memory. Your hands are like
Yep.
probably with Judy's Magic Cast On as well, right? Like I
Mhm.
think I could probably slow that one down because there's multiple needles and whatever. But yeah, anyway, awesome, awesome. Super excited. Had a teenager that would not get out of bed this morning, or I would have already reviewed that schedule as well. That was on the docket
Okay.
this morning.
Yeah, I'll let you know what I found
Cool,
that's
cool.
that's going to need to change. So yeah, we're talking about whips today,
We
unless
are
there's more
indeed.
administrative.
I cannot think of any.
Okay.
Just in general, getting super excited. Have had some items arrive for the goodie
Okay.
bag. I think the 5K swag is coming shortly. I'm very excited about that. My dining room slash yarning room slash ZK storage room now that my upstairs attic space is no longer, it's a bedroom rather than storage space is starting to look very full.
Hmm.
And so, yes, very, very excited.
Cool.
June
Well, I
is
will
soon.
start. Yes, it is very soon. I will start. I have a Farmer's Daughter's Fiber sock. I was
Woo,
talking
love that
about
blue.
how, yeah, and I decided to stick with the Summerlee Fleagle heel,
Hmm.
so that I can count these as my from a book knit on my bingo card. So I have this lovely Fleagle Hill. So it's a toe up, but has kind of
Mhm.
a different sort of gusset there. And yeah, so that's what I decided to do with the blue and black on this month's Farmer's Daughter's Fiber.
A
And
little
I'm
bit of a sporty
also,
stripe up at the top. Yeah.
yeah, and I'm also right at the toe where I get to put the blue back on and then just knit for quite a ways. So
Mhm.
um, once I get past this point, it was quite the slog to get to the heel. And then the heel kind of gives you something, you're like increasing, but then those rows are getting longer. And then when you finally get to that flugel heel, then it's like zoom, the socket's done,
Mhm.
So even with the um the foot and whatnot, it just feels like, oh, I'm on the home stretch. I just keep knitting. So yeah, gonna add the blue in very shortly to get that. And then it'll probably be a not a chore per se, but yeah, I'll have to force myself to bring it places to make sure that I get inches at it.
Mhm.
Um, y'all saw this one last week. I still have not finished adding or swapping out the measured portions, and I don't know how visible it is, but that bright purple is the added color as we're
Mhm. Mhm.
starting to go through. So there, it's been a lot of progress, but I'm not yet through with the original color, right? I haven't fully gotten rid of it yet. I think I have a couple more back and forths left in that skein of yarn.
So bright and
But
pretty.
yes, it's gonna be enormous, but I'm very excited. 3 skein shawl is it's not a 5 skeiner, but it's gonna be pretty big. So very excited to keep going on this. It's like I said, it's very meditative knitting. It's not super tricky, but there are things to help you get along. I forgot to switch colors at one point, so there's a four row block in there because I was too
That's that
in the
little
zone.
piece of imperfection that
Yes,
makes it your own. Yeah.
yeah. And and the yarn is so busy that you're not gonna really notice that it's there. So I'm not gonna go back. If it was two distinct colors in a fade, I would probably go back, but those rows are pretty long.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in ripping back and putting neat, it would probably be tinking for an hour. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But I
And
haven't
it
really
also
knit.
depends on when you notice as well, right? Did you notice it on row four, or were there like three more rows, but or two more rows before you were like, oh crap?
I noticed on row four, like at the
Okay,
end of
okay,
row four.
okay.
I was just getting ready to go and add the new color and went, oh, that's way far
Yeah.
down, like to pull it up. I was like, oh shoot. So I didn't notice until I tried to pull the next color because I was actually thinking about it. But
And the gap was wider than it had been. Yeah.
yes, the gap was wider than it had been. And I did contemplate, do I just cut and run? Because there's 15 grams left. Do I just stop and make it the new? And I'm like, no, I want to use all of the yarn. So I'm gonna keep going until I have, just a few grams left. But I
Hmm.
haven't put much work into this, but since I only had the 2 active whips and I talked about one of them last week, I thought I would show this beautiful cowl again.
Hmm.
So all that color work. And this is a halfway point. So I'm going, I gotta just basically mirror this image up here to finish. Um, but yes, my brain is not in the space. This might hibernate for quite some time. Like again, my brain does not want to work on this at all. Like not even a little bit. So it's beautiful, but this would even more so than the sock, I would have to force myself to bring out this big, color work pattern and go line by line to get it.
Hmm.
I'm more of a formula gal right now. I just want a formula. I
Yep,
don't
yep.
want
Do
to
the
have
same
to.
thing on a yeah, every single row, and just be.
Yes.
Yep, yep.
And then another hibernating, but very close to having some fun things to do, so it might get picked up again, is this Rigmore sweater. So
Pretty.
this is at the 12 inches, but I think I'm going to keep going until it's at least 13 and then look at the pattern again for getting it on, you know, putting in the sleeves. I
What
think
yarn is that?
it is a oldie one.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, I remember this. Yep.
Yeah, the
Sorry.
baby bamboo, and again, it is quite significant. It's kind of heavy, like I would
Hmm.
totally make a blanket out of this if you guys find this somewhere. It's very squishy and baby-tastic.
Hmm.
But I think the thing that's stopping me from picking this up again is that this is a tubular cast on, and I need to tubular cast on the sleeves,
Mm.
two of them, to get to where I can start knitting again. And I'm like, I don't know, there's just something in my brain right now that doesn't want to do a tubular cast on. Um, and then let alone two of them, right? So you're going to get
Yeah.
one sleeve done and then you have to go get and do it again. So, um, yeah, not that tubular cast-ons are even that hard. I mean, this is the kind where I don't even know that it's a tubular cast-on. It's because tubular, you start with half and then you double, I
Yeah.
believe. Yeah, no, this was the kind where you are doing the cast on where you're alternating. So it's kind of a purl start, purl,
Hmm.
purl knit start. I think they call it an Italian cast on.
Got it.
So, but still, the tubular is the look, and you do have to do like three
So it's
rows that
not
are
like a
kind of fuzzy.
provisional. You're not making like a T shape. You're actually creating those shorty little sleeves and then joining it all in the round and finishing.
Yes. Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
That's what this pattern is.
I get
So,
it. I get it. It's just a stopping point where you're like, well, I'll know where to pick this back up, right? And then just a
right.
little bit of friction on
Yes, it
that next
used to
step.
be.
Yep.
Yeah, having to also do a cast on that's not immediately in my repertoire, I have to look it up and then figure it out. And then once I've done that, I'm sure I can remember it to do the second sleeve, but it's an extra barrier. I'm going to have to pull up a video or some sort of tutorial to remember how to get that Italian cast on going. But
Yep.
love the edge, love how it looks. So I want it to match the hem. So we'll
Hmm.
get there. We'll get there.
Yep. Knit and Crochet says that they love knitting that heel, the Flegel heel, and love toe up a lot better. And Cass says your yarn is gorgeous on the bamboo.
Yeah, it's really squishy and it's yeah. I wish I think I'm in my like I'm more open to some of these, I don't want to say commercial yarns, but commercially dyed yarns, dye lot yarns where it's like everything's consistent. I don't have to worry about switching skeins to be able to keep going. Um, and and again, it's just kind of a recent thing. Like, oh,
Hmm.
just thinking about needing to really think about where the placement of each yarn ball goes when you're start planning a full sweater because of that hand-dyed nature is too much brain space. I think that's the theme of my whips. Like give me that plain give me that plain sock and that plain or it the marling is happening or whenever the transition is happening into the fade, but there's not a lot of thought that needs to go into it, and I can just knit along and
Hmm.
enjoy the process rather than too much thinking.
Hmm.
I want my
Yeah.
hobbies to be really base, like I want them to just go and not require any thought right now.
Yeah.
And I guess
My
on that same vein, sorry,
yep. No.
I am doing one of those dot things. With yeah, you've done them before, right? It's
Yep.
an image and you just stick dots on it, paint by numbers style. I've been doing that too.
Diamond painting,
Very
I think is what that's
yes,
called. Yeah.
diamond painting. Yes. So just as a like turn your brain off, doing something that's very much like, okay, that's this shape, this color, go, go, go.
Yep.
So yeah. My hobbies right now, brain dead.
I still think what you're doing is not uncomplicated, right? Like turning heels and knitting socks. But yes, okay. My whips are very Johnny come lately.
Mm,
As you've heard, I've been kind of in a sock era. When I was going to or packing for Madison, in the off chance I wouldn't be able to come back the same day, I was like, oh, I don't really have any like socks that are not like full leg socks in rotation right now. Have doing some summer shorties. Which is just like any sock, but without an extended leg.
yep.
This is some leftover yarn that found in my like odds and ends. I believe this is a green and a pink from, and again, the green isn't this green, but we'll go with it, from Cato Yarns.
Mm,
The pink I think I held with another color and made a sweater. Anyway, they're odds and ends in my bag. And then this is Woolens and Nosh, a um, leftover colorway where I'm
mm,
doing, four of the pink and two of the self-striping. And so, yeah, this is the partying it up. It's got an OMG heel and just kind of, they ended up a little longer than I was hoping, just because the buy at the end, you unbias the
mhm,
bias. But again, nice little shorty socks for the summertime, and have been enjoying, again, peak laziness for me is this yarn is already caked up. It helps
mhm,
alleviate some of my yarn guilt that I'm using these leftovers. And yeah, super addictive little, again, shameless self promotion here, pattern of like you change the colors every once in a while. That kind of gets you like a meta striping effect. And there's just two rows that you repeat, right? So it's
mhm,
just like, there's just a nice rhythm to it. There's enough different that it's not your tube that you're
mhm,
avoiding. And yeah, super, super loving that. Very, very pinky at this point. And then you may recognize the pink is also, I'm casting on a metamorphic.
mm,
I'm gonna do a pop of color up at the collar and the cuffs because I really enjoyed that with the Strata sweater that I made recently, also with a navy. So this is Dames at Sea from
mhm.
Leading Men Fiber Arts that I got
One of
at
my
last
favorites.
CK. Yeah. And then last week I told you on VKN, Jenna jumped on, somebody else was talking about how they were hoping to have their 10 years of Fiber and Friends. Is that's 10 years of, I can't remember, the 10 years of Fiber Fun colorway into something by the time ZK rolled around. So I caked up mine, and that's going to be my metamorphic.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. Yeah. So a little
I'm
pop
trying to
of
remember if I made mine into something.
mm,
I'm gonna have to go looking for mine. I
yeah, I have the
don't remember.
self-striping, which I know that I have not made into something because I think I talked with a couple of people about casting it on together and have not coordinated that. But yeah, I bought three skeins of this colorway last last year, and I was like, oh, I should. And then it's very self-enabling. If I wrap these up, then I will have zero guilt
Mm.
buying this year's color.
Yes, I'm gonna
So
have
yeah,
zero guilt anyway about that.
I know. I've not been purchasing much. I've definitely been saving my dollars for the ZK market. Get your previews out there, folks.
Yes.
Everybody will be setting aside dollars for your show colorways, etc. Things making their debut. But yeah, super love these colors in the skein. Super love them caked up. I may try to variation on the theme. It may end up being like two rows of this and one row of this because I do have more of this, but I do
Hmm.
like this for the like cuffs, collar, and it also has to be in the rotation for the way that the metamorphic works. So we'll see. It may be a Megan amalgamation of different sweaters, but definitely feel like the pearl side of of highly variegated yarns look very beautiful. And
Mhm,
that's what metamorphic is. It's knit inside out. So
mhm.
it'll be, yeah, it'll show purl, but I will have knit, knit it. But yeah, that's currently what I was excited and inspired by our community to cast on, kind of, yeah, retroing last year's purchases. So
I think that my kind of my oh gosh, not guilty or alleviating of guilt has been to knit with things that have been in my stash for a really long time
mhm, mhm.
that that are beautiful that I just have not put into, the front of my mind, right? Like, I don't know how many times I have lovingly, pulled these out of my stash and went,
Yep.
"Oh, what do I wanna make?" And, and then put them right back in. It's so guilty to just like, "Oh, yeah, I love you, you're beautiful, but you're going back into the cupboard." So same with that really old yarn, the Snuggly DK, I just was like, "Oh, this has been sitting here forever, and it's a gorgeous color." I think I have enough to make a tank, but then I fell in love with the idea of making this t-shirt for it, so then I had to go find some more of it.
Yeah.
So, just that yeah, alleviating that guilt is more about, picking those, skeins that have I knew I wanted to work with them, so I'm just gonna bite the bullet. I'm gonna try extra hard to find just the right thing to be
Yep.
able to knit them all up. So, yeah,
Yeah.
and
Last year, I grabbed a Stephen West pattern prior to ZK as like my, interstitial in the
Mhm.
middle, right? And you're right, it's great. I do have some Mitchell's creations that I want to pull in, and I've like they've remained paired in my stash, right? Because I'm like, I'm
Right.
gonna make something with these two together, right? Do not separate.
Yes.
This is a set, sort of logic. And yeah, I'm glad that you're getting to it, and super excited again to find some of those new ones for this year.
Yes, yes, for sure. And like you said, as soon as you've knit a certain amount of it out, you're like, okay, now I can replenish a little bit here in this
Yep.
corner. So yeah, we're all excited. June is soon.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye, Uvda. All right, I do have to jump to a 9:30.
All
I'll
right.
let you know when
I
I
was
look at the schedule.